Louie T, welcome to the command post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your commander-in-chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So I got a fun little exercise for you today. And I want to give credit where credit is due. I got this idea from one of the comments in the comment section. I told you guys I read everything. I got to do a better job of liking these posts and loving them so you know that I saw it. But in any event, I see everything. So I appreciate each and every single one of you, even the ones that are crazy, asinine, or calling me out, whatever. I appreciate your participation and you posting in the comment section. That said, this particular comment got me to thinking and gave me the idea for this particular video. So I want to give credit to Tay Two Times Times. Shout out to Tay Two Times Times for his post on one of the recent videos that I put out. And his response was, my number one free agent acquisition is Azeez Al-Shaair. He has 163 tackles for the Titans and came from the 49ers. So I think this is a response to the video in which I was talking about pick one free agent that is currently pending here in Washington, and then what's the position group that you would address. So I think this is where that video, this comment came from, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, Tay Times Two Times, appreciate you for the idea. Now I'm going to take that idea, okay, I'm going to take that comment, and I'm going to run with it. And I'm going to do a little bit more with it, right? So here's the concept I came up with. And you can play the game or you can not play the game. You can just sit on the sidelines and watch as we participate, or you can jump in and get in on the fun. So here's what I came up with. I'm giving you, we got a little bit of free agent money, right? We got a couple dollars, right? Let's blow a little bit of it, right? What's the fun of having money if you can't blow a little bit of it, right? So let's get out here and see what we can do, man. Let's drop a couple stacks, right? So here's the concept. I'm giving you a budget of $100 million. Now, Washington currently has roughly $80 million or so in cap space, the most in the NFL coming up this season. Projecting that the cap is going to go up X amount of dollars. We'll see what happens. In any event, they're going to have the most money of any team in the NFL going into the offseason. That said, I'm going to give you a budget of $100 million. Now, that may sound like a lot. I know, right? But what I'm telling you is the deals in aggregate can't exceed $100 million. Obviously, just because you sign a guy to a 5-year, $45 million contract doesn't mean you're paying that guy $45 million in year one, of course, right? You may be paying that guy $2.5 million in year one, okay? And then the number goes to 7, and then it balloons to 17 in year 3. So what I'm saying is that total number, that aggregate number can't exceed 100. So you could sign a guy for $45 million, another guy for $25 million, and another guy for $30 million. That's 100. You're done, right? You got 3 players. Or you could sign 8 guys and get under that $100 million threshold, right? So you got to decide how you want to spend this bread, okay? For instance, Patrick Queen, pending free agent linebacker of the Baltimore Ravens, recently thumbs down a post that said that SportRack had his value at 4 years, $67 million. He thumbs down that post, right? So that's him telling you that ain't enough money. And he's probably looking in the $80 million range, right? 80 to 100 million. That's where the going rate for an off-the-ball, athletic linebacker like himself who makes plays is fetching these days. He's not going to get to 100 because that's what Roquan Smith got from the Ravens. He's not as good as Roquan Smith, so he's not getting $100 million, but he's going to fall somewhere under that, 90, 85 maybe, 80, who knows. Anyway, he's telling you he's not accepting $70 million. That's pretty much what he's telling you. So if you want to spend your money on a guy like Patrick Queen, go right ahead. Knock it yourself out. Spend $80 million on him and then turn around and have just enough to maybe sign yourself a linebacker or two. Or you could go the route of, say, going out here and signing a guy like Willie Gay, the linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs, signing Azeez Al-Shire or Frankie Louvu, turning around, signed a guard like Kevin Dotson in free agency, and still have enough money to sign Curtis Samuel, and maybe even still have enough money to sign, say, another, linebacker or edge rusher like Bryce Huff. It's up to you how you spend this money. You give Curtis a 2-year, $21 million deal. You give Bryce Huff a 3-year, $42 million deal, and then you slide in a couple of edge rushers and a guard, and you still might have $8-9 million left over. Or a couple of linebackers. I think I might have said edge rushers. A couple of linebackers like, Azeez Al-Shire and Willie Gay, and then slide in, a Kevin Dotson, or slide in a Mike Onwenu. Now, Mike is a tackle, so Mike might cost you a little bit more. Mike Onwenu is from New England. He's a right tackle. He's played a bunch of positions, but if you're signing him as a tackle, probably gonna cost you a little bit more. But he might be in that Andrew Wiley range. Who knows? Mike Onwenu might be in the Andrew Wiley territory, which was 3 years, $21 million last year, what we signed him to. So who knows? Might be able to get away with that. But you know who was an interesting guy? Devin White. Remember I talked about him. I've brought him up numerous times to you guys. Devin White got benched at the end of the season. He wasn't playing down the stretch for the Bucs. He barely played in the playoff games against Philadelphia and Detroit. He got benched. What does that do to his free agent value? Now, somebody's going to believe in his talents. Somebody's going to pay. But you're not going to be paying top dollar for this guy. He's got immense talent, elite speed, and athleticism. I don't know what his price range and his market is going to be. I imagine that his market is depressed. Now, it's depressed for a reason, and he got benched for a reason. But if you think you can clean that up, go right ahead. Knock yourself out. Anyway, the exercise is as follows, and it's very simple. You got $100 million to spend. How you going to spend it? Leave it down in the comment section. And I need to see the math, right? You don't have to do the math, but you need to do the math either in your head or on paper. You don't have to do the math in the comment section. But if you go over $100 million, you're out, right? So want to see what you guys can come up with. See how creative you can be with this bread that we have. It's a lot of it. And this is what I ultimately think is going to happen. That $100 million that I'm talking about, they're going to sign like 14 dudes with $100 million. A bunch of 1-year, 2-year deals. Like 1 year, $2.5 million. 1 year, $5.5 million. 2 years, $7.5 million. 2 years, $11 million. Like that, those are the kind of deals they're going to be handing out. They're going to get a lot done in $100 million. You, on the other hand, you want Mike Evans. You want Josh Allen. So your money's going to be gone just like that. Okay. What says you? Leave it down in the comment section. All right. Tay times 2 times. Once again, appreciate you for this idea. The comment that kind of got the creative juices flowing, if you will. Either way, leave it down in the comment section if you choose to play. Set it up. All right. Let's get it on. Spend the money wisely. Okay. You've been given an allowance. $100 million. What are you going to do with it? Leave it down in the comment section. And you look, our players are within this budget as well. So you can sign back Curtis Samuel. You can sign back Kendall Fuller. You can sign back Cam Curl. Understand that a deal for Cam Curl might cost you $60 million in aggregate, right? Understand that may take up a huge chunk of your money. Now, if you pull the years down, and I don't know if Cam would be willing to go for that, but if you pull the years down and make it a 3-year deal, then that brings it down a bit, right? But the more years you have, the more money it's going to cost you in aggregate. So just be smart about these things. Be wise. Understand what the market is for certain players and positions. Last year we saw the linebacker position be a really depressed market outside of the top 2 or 3 linebackers. Roquan got a massive deal. Tremaine Edmonds got a big deal. TJ Edwards got a big deal. Everybody else, the David Longs of the world, the Aziz Al-Shires, all those guys got very, very meager deals. So understand that it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to sign a Frankie Louvu or a Willie Gay from Kansas City. Not going to cost you a whole heck of a lot of money to do that. A guy like Kevin Dotson as an interior offensive lineman, not going to break the bank. It's going to cost you some money, but it's not going to cost you a ton of money. So, we'll see. I can't wait to read these responses. This should be spicy. I know some of you aren't going to follow directions. You're just going to mangle this thing. But in any event, this should be fun. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. Greatly appreciate you guys. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. We're just passing time until we get to the real brass tacks of things on Monday or Tuesday when we get ink to paper with our guy, Benny J. But until then, let's have a little fun. What's all this money if you can't spend it, right? Right. I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, I'll see you for Championship Sunday. If not, I'll see you on next week. We're going to have a lot to talk about next week. Now, aren't we? Have a good one.